Wax Levy, and this is Ancient Odysseys. Today, we're here at the Dendera Temple Complex. I'm here with my husband Jeffrey Drum from the land of Kemp.
What's up?
And we're going to investigate the anomalous features of this temple, such as the Dendera Zodiac, the melted staircase, the Dendera light bulbs, the sanctuary, the sacred lake, and we're going to see if we can find any evidence if this temple is built upon an older structure, and much more. So, come with me. Let's go.
Let's explore the Dendera Temple Complex, located about 2.5 kilometers southeast of Dendera, Egypt. It is one of the best preserved temple complexes of ancient Egypt and was used as the sixth nome of Upper Egypt, south of Abydos. The Temple of Hathor dominates this complex, and the original structure underwent continuous modifications throughout the Middle Kingdom and Ptolemaic era. Its orientation is practically north and south. It was built in the 1st century BC during the reigns of the later Ptolemies and of Augustus, but it is thought to occupy the site of an older edifice and added to or altered by the kings of the 12th dynasty. This is a layout of the Dendera Temple Complex that will help orient you as we explore. We will first pass the two late Roman fountains and enter the monumental gateway constructed by Trajan and Domitian. Then we will approach the temple through the court and into the vestibule with the 24 columns, each crowned with a Hathor head sistrum, and investigate the zodiac and moon calendar that adorn the ceiling. After that, we will enter the 6-columned hypostyle hall and its 6 chambers, one of which is named the laboratory. We will pass the antechambers and observe the pure place of the sanctuary. Then we descend into the crypt in search of the enigmatic Dendera light bulbs. We ascend to find the flame room with its mysterious ceiling motif. And after investigating the quote-unquote melted stairs on the eastern and western sides, we will climb to the roof of the temple and examine the drainage spouts, zodiac, and Osiris resurrection rooms. We will conclude our adventure exploring the sacred lake and the subterranean water features. As we pass through the monumental gateway and the threshold of the temple complex, we look up and find a rare depiction of the winged scarab, Khepri. From a strange perspective, we see its underbelly.
Well, the top ones are, and then they're trying to scrub out the lower ones.
This is the Temple of Hathor, And you can see her depiction on the top of each column, still pigmented.
Hathor is a major goddess in the ancient Egyptian pantheon who played many roles. As a sky deity, she was a mother or consort of the sky god Horus and the sun god Ra. She was one of several goddesses who acted as the Eye of Ra, Ra's feminine counterpart, and in this form she had a vengeful aspect that protected him from his enemies. On her beneficent side, she represented music, dance, joy, love, sexuality, and maternal care, and she acted as the consort of several male deities and was the mother of their sons. Hathor crosses boundaries between worlds. She helps the deceased souls in the transition into the afterlife. Her most common form is a woman wearing a headdress of cow's horns and a solar disk. She is often depicted as a cow and is represented as a lioness, a cobra, or a sycamore tree.
You can see the 7 cells, or 7 gates. It's looking very much like Kasr Saga. Here's the guardian of the Temple of Hathor.
Yes, the state of preservation in the temple is extremely impressive. You can look at diagrams.
We are entering the Great Vestibule, which has 24 sistrum columns with the heads of Hathor. The exterior front of the hall is enclosed by 6 stone screens between the columns in the first row. The interior walls are decorated with 4 rows of representations of rulers: Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, and Nero, advancing with votive offerings for Hathor and other gods.
First area of interest, we're going to investigate through this first.
Above me is one of the zodiacs, Dendera, and you can see the goddess Nut arcing over the primordial waters in each of the zodiacs. There's Scorpio, the Scorpion, the scales for Libra, and the lion for Leo. And the woman with the star overhead, that represents Sirius.
The sculptured diagrams on the ceiling are incredibly interesting. They are divided by the columns into 7 bands, running from end to end, and referred to astronomical subjects. The first band being that of the goddess Nut, goddess of the sky, and beneath her are the pictures of the zodiac and the boats with personifications of the stars. Here I've zoomed in on a photo that I took so that you can better see what is being shown here. And I've labeled each of the zodiac that I've identified. This is the first half of the band. And here you see the second half of the band.
Above me is the lunar calendar. A cycle of 14 days. Here, the moon is depicted as a mirror and the eye of Horus. You can see the deacons here. The solar cycle is 180 days. Pretty spectacular.
This is a close-up of a photo I took showing the details of the third band, the lunar cycle. Each day of the cycle is represented by a god, as you can see here. This mirror and the eye of Horus represents the full moon. This is a close-up of the first third of the band, and it is the first time that I've seen frog-headed deities. This is a close-up of the second part of the band. And here is the god Thoth, a moon god, god of wisdom, and my personal favorite. This is the final third of the band. And you have the 14 gods setting sail on a bark. Now we are leaving the great vestibule and entering the hypostyle hall, or the Hall of the Appearance, the roof of which is supported by 6 columns, with elaborate foliage capitals on which the heads of Hathor also appear. The base and the 2 lowest drums of each column are granite, and the remainder is made of sandstone. There are 8 square apertures in the ceiling that admit light.
This temple is in a great state of preservation. There has been some defacement.
On each side of this hypostyle hall are 3 chambers, some which are dark, while others are lighted by apertures in the roof. They were used for various things, such as a laboratory, a treasury, storerooms, offering rooms, and for sacrificial incense. The inscriptions and the representation show a pharaoh in the presence of Hathor, the lion-headed horse of Dendera, and other gods.
This first chamber is known as the laboratory. Thought to be for the creation of perfumes. We'll see what we find depicted with the glyphs. Here's a housing for a door.
So we just took a look inside of this chamber.
This is known as the harvest room. It appears to be unpainted. This is known as an offering hall. See the double-fisted jud pillar and ankh? There's been some defacement here. Also appears unpainted. And the cartouches are empty.
Hieroglyphs haven't been defaced, but they do have some nice pristine ones here. Inception. Ankhs and jed pillar.
Okay, so I found something pretty interesting. It's here at the foundation of the offering room. It appears that there are columns under this foundation. They're interlocking. It appears that this is evidence that the Hathor Temple was built upon a far older site. And just imagine how far these columns go.
For what?
Saying we found these?
I don't know, you found them. I don't know what it is. So this here, these flower-like shapes,
Yeah.
are under the floor.
Yes.
Were these pushed
in here?
No. It's a foundation. It's the other building down.
Yeah.
The older layers comes down.
Yeah.
So sometimes we read the hieroglyphs around that I built the monuments, and other one says that I restored the monuments.
Restored it, yeah.
Exactly. So the oldest become like a foundation down. So those, what you can see here, they are the top of the crowns, the top of the columns, become down. So we need actually to continue the excavation down to know which time it's dating back.
Interesting.
Just how old? Let's look at the treasury room. This is known as the libation room. This is another offering room. This time it's painted. These ox are without arms, which is different than the other offering room.
That's it right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Empty cartouche.
Your quote-unquote melted staircase. And some of you are going to be very, very disappointed. That's my final conclusion and analysis about this.
Look at those massive housings. Just imagine the size of the door. You can see how the temple is illuminated with the apertures in the ceiling. Straight ahead, Jeffrey is examining the quote-unquote melted stairs made of sandstone. else over here? Oh, another staircase. Let's have a closer look. Now these are made of sandstone. First impression, this is from where? I don't see any indication on the walls that it's been melted.
And trust me, I wanted it to be something different. I thought maybe that there had been a spill of caustic chemicals, or maybe it looked like geopolymer that had been poured and didn't dry and set correctly. But I can tell you, looking at these things firsthand, it's just natural weathering. I hate to break it to you, and I know some of you are going to argue and be very disappointed at that explanation. There's absolutely zero quote-unquote melting, and this is another one of those unfortunate myths that are perpetuated in the lost ancient high technology community, that it's some sort of evidence of nuclear warfare and blah blah blah. Nope. It's just some weathered, very, very ancient stairs. There's Alexa taking a close look as well. Did you see the other side?
I didn't get to yet.
All right.
But this, it looks like natural wear to me.
Yeah.
It's made of sandstone, right?
Sandstone. It's all sandstone.
Which is very soft.
Very soft.
Just
And
think
we
of
were looking at the pictures from the marble staircase at the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So look.
we're now in the sanctuary, the inner sanctum. On the floor you can see housings where something was extracted. Something precious. See the seven gates? Certainly looks like a portal.
Down into the crypt.
Now we will explore the crypt and the flame room. Beautiful door. The urae. Look at that. take a look. How cool is this? Rickety stairs. Small chamber.
Yep. It appears that there's several of those.
It's tiny, but highly decorated. You can see the winged Isis.
People crawl or climb into any little hole.
I'm small enough. Come up here with me.
Come on.
All right. Cut. All right. We're gonna descend into the crypt, and apparently the Dendera lights are there, so let's go.
If you want to help support our expeditions and research, pick up some new badass Ancient Odysseys merch. The link is in the video description below. Fitted tees, stickers, shorts, and explorer packs are now available. Thank you all very much.
Looks like we're gonna have to crawl a little bit.
Yeah, so as Alexa was saying, this is one of the crypts that is located here in the Dendera Temple Complex. So this is the area of the structure where the so-called Dendera light bulb is located. And this is the part that you probably don't see on any other channels. I had no idea it was like this to get down there.
Me neither. Do you want a light?
Go ahead. Okay. Let the people see what it's like.
Oh, this is so cool.
Come on, my okay. Okay.
So there are 11 crypts here at Dendera that they know of. Uh-oh, malfunction?
Just get in from there. So dead end passage there where Alexa is.
That's interesting. There it is. Here is one of 3 motifs through the modern lens, it looks very much like a light bulb or some sort of electrical apparatus. But the symbolism is thought to represent Horus as a serpent in an embryonic sac emanating from a lotus. Supported by a jet pillar here with 2 raised arms. It's another snake emanating from a lotus. Jeffrey was just pointing out this looks like Naboo, hieroglyphic for gold.
Series of light bulbs, quote unquote light bulbs. I have this one here. And then there are 2 depicted over here.
Take a look at the Dendera lights.
Okay. So, can you come down here?
Symbol of Naboo everywhere. Having sister.
I have some questions. And I want to make sure that I accurately describe everything that we're seeing here. Because I don't think it's a light bulb.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with that for a number of reasons. So first, can you tell me what this is?
Like, I'll try to explain.
Yes.
But first, none of academic gives us an explanation for it.
Okay, okay.
ماشي.
So clearly there's a vessel here.
Exactly.
And this
the
is-
water comes out of it.
Something being poured, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So is this Naboo?
Nibu, mesh, that's
Okay.
right. And this is the same thing as with the necklace. It's like a magic thing. Usually the kings wear under gods.
Okay.
And then we have the 4 columns of Hathor.
Okay.
Above the head, we can see the entrance of her temple. And then something comes out of this vessel to that place, to the Dendera place. It's all about the magic thing, actually, because here we can see a park and then a disc on it.
Okay.
So that can be like energy or something like that comes direct on that place.
Okay. Okay.
Sort of that thing.
Okay. So this here, you think that's original?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Yes. Right.
But what we can see here, the disc and then the park.
Okay. Okay.
And it's about the energy.
Now, is that your interpretation or the conventional interpretation?
And this is what I have viewed.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now, so again, we have the Naboo occurring over and over again, gold.
Yeah.
Here, the lotus, the snake is coming out of the lotus,
Yes.
but there's no bulb
ماشي.
around it.
ماشي.
Okay, so what is the interpretation of this part here?
It's representation for the life.
Life. Okay,
Yes.
snake being life.
It's a symbol of the creation, the symbol of every living things. And the lotus, it is the source of the life.
Okay.
That's how we explain that one. This is the lotus.
Okay.
And that goes like immunity sac or something like that. And then the serpent, the life of everything, it's here.
Yes.
On that immunity sac.
Okay.
And they call it lamp because of that jet pillar.
Yes.
The backbone of Osiris comes like electricity tower
Yes.
in both sides. So we got many reliefs like that one.
Okay.
Like the serpent comes out of the lotus flower. But first time we see something like that.
Okay.
And the hieroglyphs around doesn't explain what we see.
Okay.
It's different thing.
Okay.
And it's repeated as well.
Okay. But again, the Zulus keep seeing gold.
Nepal.
Gold. Gold.
That's right.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's still all mysterious things. It's a symbolic, and we are trying to understand what does it mean.
Right.
Academic usually depend on the hieroglyphs around, but the hieroglyphs it's just prayers. It doesn't explain what we see.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Stay tuned for my husband, Jeffrey Drum, at the Land of Chem's interpretation of the Dendera light bulbs. I feel he is spot on with his analysis. This strange frog figure, holding 2 sharp knives, is one of the guardians of the gates. I was able to LiDAR scan a section of the crypt. Take a look at what we captured. I am building a database of LiDAR scans of artifacts and structures all around ancient Egypt. This tool is incredibly powerful for independent researchers. Stay tuned.
Okay, we're going to exit the crypt.
Oh.
And then the other one is straight, we go down.
Okay. Okay.
You want to take the front.
All right, so here we go. This is a spiral staircase. We're here. Gradual weathering of the staircase. People never show this area. They only show the area.
On the ceiling is Nut. And she is arced over Hathor. Look at the solar rays illuminating her. And these looks like a coral or some sort of energy emanating from the bark.
This is a photo I took of the ceiling of the flame room. And here is the goddess Nut, arcing over Hathor. That's in this bark or boat. And there are two flames or jets or plasma, some sort of energy emanating from either side of the bark. And there are the solar rays shining on her and the moon.
I'm in a very peculiar chamber. Around me are symbols that don't look like your usual hieroglyphics. They look Mesoamerican. This looks like normal weathering. You can see it turns at a 90-degree angle.
To light up.
These are made of sandstone. Just looking down. Sandstone being an incredibly soft material. Just think of how many footsteps over the many millennia.
That's a beautiful feature. It's absolutely light. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys. If you're looking for nuclear elements staircase.
There's no erosion on the walls, like we see on the stairs. And here's the corner to the 90-degree turn. I see no evidence of melting.
Here I'm showing you a comparison of what is being circulated on the internet and what we actually found.
It's depicted as blue here. How is it up there? You go up here yet?
Here's where it's going to take us to the Zodiac area.
While exploring the rooftop of the temple, I noticed a strange feature. There were a system of drains, each surrounded by a false door. Here is a photo showing the inside of a drain, which terminates on the other side of the wall with the lion spouts. Similar to what has been documented concerning the drainage system at the Eastern Temple of the 5th Dynasty Sahure in Abu Sir in Lower Egypt. This is an odd architectural feature for a site built during a time where there was little rainfall expected. Is this evidence that the structure was built at an earlier time, or is there another function for this feature?
It looks very much like the Mayan Aztec calendar.
Here we have the death and resurrection of Osiris. And here's a replica of the Dendera Zodiac. The original resides at the Louvre in Paris.
This is the famous Dendera Zodiac that once resided on the second story of the temple. In 1820, it was removed by French colonizers and later replaced with a replica. It is now on display at the Louvre in Paris. It is dated to approximately 50 BC through an examination of the planetary configuration. It depicts the 5 planets known to ancient Egyptians in a configuration that occurs once every 1,000 years, and the identification of 2 eclipses. The solar eclipse indicates a date of March 7th, 51 BC, and it is represented by a circle containing the goddess Isis holding a baboon, or the god Thoth by the tail. The lunar eclipse indicates the date of September 25th, my birthday, 52 BC. It is represented by the Eye of Horus locked into a circle.
We're on our way to the rooftop of the Hathor Temple. Look at this view.
Thousands of years of weathering. So now we're back on the outside.
You see these lines? From the rooftop you can see the drainage holes. And this is where it terminates. Yes, I do.
So this appears to be connected to a subterranean source of water. This reminds me very much of what we saw at the Pyramid of Hawara.
Yes.
In the Lagoon Oasis. You can see that there's water filling this. So there's still a source of water underneath this temple. You wanna walk down there and look?
It's exactly like Hawara.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't painted.
Just walking down in here, I get the sense that this is a much older area of the temple complex.
Wait, can you flash down here?
Yep, yep.
Look at all of this pottery.
So it certainly looks like originally the water level in here would have been much higher. Basically all this white salt on the walls is indicative of a much higher water level in here. Alright, so now we're going to go check out the enclosure around the sacred lake. We kind of had to sneak back in here real quick.
I'm so glad we did.
Switch cameras with me. You film me, and I'll film you. Your favorite adventure duo, Ancient Odysseys in the Land of Chem.
Team Awesome.
And we'll walk over here to this enclosure surrounding the sacred lake. All right, you first.
This is such a cool day. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh.
So this entire trip has kind of been a celebratory experience for another successful Land of Chem tour. And we'll be hosting another one in November of 2024. So if you're interested in joining on the second 2024 tour, please send me an email. contact@thelandofchem.com, subject line November tour, and I will send you the full tour itinerary and pricing details. This area here again was known as the Sacred Lake, and you can see by the stairs that it certainly intends that people were intended to have access into this lake. I mean,
Let's go down there.
yeah, that's what I was just thinking. All right, you first.
Okay. Yeah, let me know. Look at these entrance.
Because I want to see what's inside of these little housings back here. Go ahead. So again, here we have some more erosion on these stairs. From people walking up and down these things. Into the water. And I'm sure having wet shoes or wet feet make the erosion much worse or much faster. And I just want to see what is inside of these little housings. Hey, you need to swap battery. Hang on one sec.
Okay.
Not even close. Red Pyramid, pure chemical ammonia. Down in here, smells like rat poop. You want to go in there? Just when you walk around the corner.
I'll peek.
Just know already that there's a huge family of bats down in there. Here, take this. And shine it around the corner.
Should I be scared?
Well, you already know it's there. I didn't when I walked around the corner. And they all started flapping their wings.
I hear them chirping.
Yeah, so just look and then get the hell out of there.
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah. So clearly, there would have been a time period where the water level in here fluctuated. So at some point it would be lower below this enclosure. At other points it would rise to where it filled the enclosure. So perhaps during the inundation of the Nile River, it would flood and fill up this entire enclosure. But then when the Nile River receded, the water level would fall, but they could still access that subterranean water through these alcoves. Yep, there's a little gecko in there. They have these really cool, yeah, same thing that we just saw, access to a subterranean water source. So they have these really cool kind of translucent orange looking lizards all around Egypt. Right, so now that we're standing here in the middle of what would have been a water-filled artificial lake. All right, let's switch cameras again. Here. All right, so now say your outro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our expedition.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our expedition to the Dendera Temple Complex, where we investigated the anomalies in the Hathor Temple.
What she said. All right, so stay tuned for more. Please subscribe to The Land of Chem and Ancient Odysseys, and we'll see you next time. Masalema.
I'm so glad we went here.
If you want to help support our expeditions and research, pick up some new badass Ancient Odysseys merch. The link is in the video description below. Fitted tees, stickers, shorts, and explorer packs are now available. Also, please subscribe to our 2 new channels here on YouTube. Egyptian Trash Cats, where we document our saga in caring for the street cats of Egypt, and Egypt Eats, for all of our crazy culinary adventures. Thank you all very much.